So we just got word today that a organization that supports President Trump has sued Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, John Roberts, because the group is asserting that the Supreme Court has too much power and is imposing unnecessary restrictions on the power of Donald Trump to do whatever it is that he decides he wants to do. So most people probably aren't paying attention, enough to understand what's happening. But for those of us who are lawyers and those of us who have an interest in the law, this is a very, very unfortunate turn of events. We live in a constitutional democracy, and what that means, at least in the context of the United States, is that we have a balance of powers, which means that we have a legislative branch, an executive branch, and a judicial branch. And all of those branches are supposed to work together and respect the authority of their co-equal branches of government. And this is coming up as an issue because the Supreme Court basically told President Trump that no, he can't just deport people to El Salvador or other countries without due process. And an order, as I understand it, an order was imposed for the president or his officers to bring back people who were deported to El Salvador inappropriately. And his administration is fighting back, and they don't want to do it. Now, there are ways in which, President Trump could do what he wants to do or attempt to do what he wants to do, and that would be by forming a partnership with the legislature and having the legislature craft a bill that would allow him to do what he's doing, but rather do what he wants to do. But rather than go through that process, the president is pushing back against the authority of the Supreme Court to intervene and tell him that he can't do what the Supreme Court believes the law requires him to do. And this is a very dangerous state of affairs for this country, because if we have a situation where the federal government is deciding to hold their ground and resist respecting the authority of a co-equal branch of government, that is the start of the fraying of the country that we have, because what makes us a country, what gives us our foundation, is the Constitution. So if the people we've elected don't respect the Constitution and the provisions in the Constitution that indicate how this government is supposed to run, we are in a very, very, very bad place in this country. And it's sad that not enough people are paying attention to what's going on, because this is potentially a situation that could lead to a constitutional crisis. Certainly, I don't want to be alarmist, and I don't want to read more into the situation than is necessary, but we are in a very tenuous place as a country if we can't agree that the three branches of government have an obligation to respect the authority given to their co-equal branches under the Constitution. What do you think? Let me know, and we'll be back.